In this episode, we're getting rid of this induction kit setup. One, because it's broken and it doesn't have a filter in, and two, we're putting an airbox in, which has got a more direct route to the turbo. So that's what we're doing in this episode. So let's take a look what's in this kit. We've got a brand new airbox. This is off the 1.9 diesel like I had in the previous videos. We've got a silicone connection here, so we need to put the 18mm AFM off the VXR onto it, so we need that there. We've also got a connection pipe with a breather adapter on, so we can connect the breather up for the oil. And then we've also got the silicone joiner which connects onto this and connects onto the turbo. In this little box, we've got all the brackets we need. In this little bag, we've got a stainless oil breather as well as black hosing to connect it, and a little bit more black hosing and the little clamps for it. And finally, to extend the loom of the AFM, which I'll show you later in the video, we've got heat shrink, which is the green bit, and then the wire. So we'll have to do a bit of soldering later on in the episode. So to start off, I'm going to be disconnecting this pipe, this induction kit, and that silicone joint there. Taking out this AFM meter, taking off this joint, this crossover pipe, and then this silicone joint just here. I'm going to take the whole lot off. I've got a flat blade screwdriver for some of the clamps, and some of them require a 7mm little socket. Apart now. That's the bottom bit off. Save it because you're going to need it to connect to your new box, so save your little clamp as well. That's the AFM meter out. Press on the clips to disconnect it. Put that somewhere safe because you're going to need that. Some people may be thinking, why are you taking the induction kit cone out just to put an airbox on? Well, once I can remove it, here is our kit that someone has put on, and there is no filter inside at all. So it's not even filtering the air. So absolutely pointless and is useless. Off to the bin that goes. I've got a little bracket there I need to disconnect because they put a bracket on to hold the pipe. So I've got another pipe off. Another pipe off. Now this pipe here is held together with that nut there. So I'm going to get a spanner for it. Okay, that bolt there is a 10mm, so I decided to get a ratchet instead of a spanner. When you can turn this around, see we've got our oil breather set up there. We get a set of pliers, squeeze that clip together, and be able to pull it straight off. There we go. And now we have this polish set up off as well. So now we just need to remove that bracket, and then we can start rebuilding up our airbox. Okay, the next thing I'm doing is I've removed this part off the back of the new airbox. I've just pulled it off so I can bolt it on. And I've also removed the bottom rubber that was just there off of this bit here that's on the box, because mine's still got one on. This one that's just here on this little bracket. It comes with a new one, but my car's still got one on. So I'm just going to use the one that's on the car. Yeah, it's nice and tight. I'll leave the one that's on the car. I'll save this one, but if you haven't got one, you want to push that straight through into that bracket. And now we're going to be bolting the other two securing bits onto there like that, and put a bolt straight through that hole on the top and secure it nice and tight. That holds the airbox in place. Okay, so I'm just going to finish tightening this bolt up. Okay, so now that bracket's in place, we can put the airbox in. Okay, so all we need to do is line this bottom peg up with the rubber in there, and then push it down and line these pegs up with them just there. And now we've got an airbox in, we can start connecting up the pipes. And we'll start with this pipe just here, which is off the very bottom of the box. It was a bit of a tighter squeeze, but I've managed to get the pipe connected up. So I'm just attaching this one. Some of you may be wondering why I've just put the airbox straight in. That's because this one was brand new and it's come with an air filter inside. So I haven't needed to take it apart, I haven't needed to put an air filter in it. Because of the change of direction of where the AFM is, it's now over here instead of over here. Sorry. The cable is not long enough to reach now, so I'm going to cut about here, put solder some extension in, and then it's going to reach over here where the new AFM is going to be. So cut that off, solder it on, and it'll be able to reach over here. Okay, so we've got our soldering iron, solder, heat shield, our extension in cable, strippers so we can strip back the cables, and the plug that we just cut off. So I'm going to strip back just this, about a centimetre or so on each cable, and stick some extension on it, and then I'm going to put heat shielding over it as well, and then we'll also have to solder it onto the car as well. So here you can see that I've extended the cables, put a bit of solder on, make it about 2 to 3 inches longer, put a heat shrink around it. The last thing I'll do will be solder them onto there. I'm going to build up the rest first to make sure they still fit and the cables are still long enough, and then I'll just solder them onto the car. So now we're going to fit the airflow meter. We're going to refit the airflow meter. I've attached the silicone joiner because this is an 80mm math and this is what comes as part of the kit. I had to ask for it, so make sure you ask for it if you need it. So position these clamps exactly where I need them. And then I'm going to thread it over. Okay, so they're nice and tight now. We just need to put the next section on, and as well as attach up the breather pipe. The breather pipe setup that comes with this box is dead simple. You just have that little bit of silicone, connects onto the rock cover, stainless steel brings it down and around, and you take it to here along the cam cover. So then when we put a stainless steel pipe on, that's got the T-piece and that built in for this to hook straight onto. So all I need to do now is put the clamps on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the breather pipe. Okay, this is all on now, everything's connected, every bolt's tight. It's just time now to just trim them back, solder on the new cables and attach it, then we can start it. So they're all trimmed back now. Now because we're soldering straight onto a loom, we won't be able to put the heat shrink over an open end. So I'm just going to thread the heat shrink over the loom that's already off the car. So then when it's soldered on, I'll just be able to pull it up and heat shrink it over. And just make sure you do before you solder, check that you put every cable to the correct cable. On my car, I've got blue with a white stripe, solid red, solid brown and red with the white stripes. They have to correspond with that there. One down, 3 to go. Okay, so now we're all connected, we're all soldered up here, it's time to start the cotter up. So now we've got our nice new shiny box fitted. Hopefully I'll have some nice clean air coming in. So obviously I have a filter on there now, so it should be a lot better. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.